Welcome back to another Sunday walk video. Today it's going to be in my backyard. I am tired. It's 95 degrees out right now and I've been working in the backyard. I'm very frustrated over something that my landscapers did and I've been trying to fix it, and it's been an experience and it's not completely fixed. So I'm very frustrated about it. As frustrated as some of you guys are with alts. But I'll get to that. Let me talk a little bit about Bitcoin, alts, and I guess what I'm going through. Bear with me because I am dead and sweaty and I'm still sitting outside in the sauna. As for this week, I mean, as you guys may have noticed with Bitcoin, it's staying right at 107. Right now it's 107.5. So Bitcoin's been very steady over this weekend and last week. So overall, Bitcoin is looking like, again, it's just finding a footing right now and it's waiting to go up. This week we'll probably get more about, we'll hear more about the stablecoin progress, Genius bill in House. David Sachs says that, the administration wants to push it through quickly, hopefully by the end of next week, not this coming week, the next week. So we may hear some news about that, and obviously any kind of push, accelerated push, is definitely going to help move markets. Yeah, outside of that, I mean, the only other thing that I found significant was there does seem to be a momentum shift with Solana a little bit, and I saw a couple things that relate to this. One is the meme coin Pengu is going up like crazy. Number two, there seems to be this one trader that kind of reduced his positions in Bitcoin and ETH and have turned to Solana. So both seems to have, brought a little momentum to Solana. In my opinion, it's very oversold. It's undervalued. I think it is going to make a big recovery by the end of this year, but recently it has definitely been beaten. I also noticed that Sui came up this weekend too, quite significantly as well, kind of like Solana. Seems like some of that money that was flowing into Ethereum, we saw that very brief kind of momentum shift into Ethereum maybe a month ago. Seems like a lot of that is coming back out and going back into, say, Solana and Sui and others. So overall, I think the real big catalyst right now in the crypto sphere is definitely the Genius Bill Act. And I mentioned anything that relates to stable coins, including issuers, including the chains that are on the volume, is going to move a lot of projects forward. And Solana definitely has a lot of stablecoin volume. So does Sui, in addition to the activity that they have, and others too. Circle took a breather last week. Friday it sold off again hard. Wednesday, I believe, it sold off hard. I'm curious to see if Wall Street is done with selling and picking up. I think so. I think this week, we'll continue to see someone like Circle and Coinbase and others, stock related wise, will continue to head higher. I didn't really see any economic news this week or this coming week. I mean, big things. Of course, there's always going to be something. There's always going to be something that's released. But, I didn't see, obviously there's no FOMC meeting. I didn't see any big press conference. Inflation readings was last week, and we already got that. The PCE, came in as expected. Core inflation ticked up a little bit. Headline inflation ticked up a little bit, but nothing too bad. So I don't think we're going to see any surprises. But I'm hopeful for the Genius bill, and I'm hoping that we see more or hear more progress about it. So that's pretty much it. Also, I got to say, I don't know how many of you guys watched yesterday's Ask George. You definitely should. I answered 5 questions, and I think I did pretty well explaining a few of them, including analogies that I never even thought of before. So it's quite interesting. I answered one about OTC market, one about taking profit, one about stablecoins in general, how it works, and a few others. So if you didn't watch it, I highly recommend you take some time to watch it. It's a long video. It's like 30-something minutes. But I did my best trying to explain some concept that I think some people are confused about. All right, the remaining of the video, let me just vent a little bit. And by the way, in case you guys don't follow me on TikTok or Instagram, I got some really good content on there, short form content, but I've been creating new kind of content, and I may do more personal stuff on them because like what I was going through this morning, I already posted and a lot of people did chime in on it. So I may do more personal shorts on TikTok and Instagram in case you guys are wondering. But also I'm trying new style videos on there as well that some of you guys may like. All right, let me tell you, or let me show you what's going on here. All right, so this is my backyard here. All right, so right by the pool area, I have this strip. Okay, so when I originally built this house and a pool and the pavers and everything, I had this strip filled with mulch, some plants, and it was just overfilling with weed. We weren't really taking good care of it, and it just looked messy. So I'm like, all right, I want something low maintenance. Okay, so I told the landscape guys, who actually are my grass cutters, so maybe that's my problem because he's done little work here and there for me. So I thought he would be good. So I told him, hey, clear this whole section out, remove all the mulch and all the plants and everything, put a tarp on it, buy some rocks, fill it with rocks like that, and then dig 10 holes for me. That way I could then just drop these kind of plants in, these annual plants, which look really good. Those are 10-inch pots, 10-inch plants, and so I thought it would be easy job. Okay, I even told him I had a sprinkler system. I do have a sprinkler system, I should say, in my house. There's a line going through. You could clearly see the heads. You could see some electrical lines, but they're very easy to see. Avoid them. He's like, yeah, no problem. So he was supposed to come on Friday. He missed coming on Saturday morning. Granted, I know it's hot. Like right now, I'm sweating. I'm dying here, okay? He took a lot of breaks. He took the whole day. I understand it. It takes a lot of effort to be in the sun to do this. So by the time it was like afternoon, he's like, all right, George, I'm done. I'm gonna get out of here. I'm like, okay, cool. First of all, he put these pots in, right? It goes like this. He put it in, but he like left the tarp on top of it. He's like, oh, I don't have anything sharp, so I can't cut the opening. And I thought about it, I'm like, okay, it's not that big of a deal. I'll do it myself, but honestly, you could just use your finger to poke through and just open it up. I don't know why. Anyways, I spent like a good 15 minutes cutting each opening up and then putting the plants, and I thought, yeah, I'm done. Nice and easy, right? Except then I realized, where are the sprinkler heads? This guy decided to just go ahead and cover everything up. So this one, luckily, it was at the edge. I found it. Okay, there was another one here that was completely buried and covered. So I was looking. I was removing rock, and I actually cleaned a lot of this up. So this is actually clean now, but I may have to dig this up again because there's another issue. But I had to listen, and then I saw some puddling here, so then I opened it up. Okay, I still think there's another sprinkler head that's at that corner or this corner. This one is for the grass, by the way, but I've been searching. I don't see anything, so maybe it's just these two. I don't remember anymore. So okay, so that's problem number one. Number two is when I turned it on, it was very low pressure. Low pressure. I'm like, God darn it. He must have cut something. So sure enough, this morning, I turned on the system again, and luckily, I saw by this pot, it started puddling really badly. So I dug it up, and guess what I found? This. You can clearly see that, right? So those guys, this was here, by the way. So those guys, while digging that up, did not pay attention and just cut that. Okay, so I had to learn how to fix this. Had to go to Home Depot 3 times. First, I bought one of these pipes, these PVC pipes that are pre-cut. I bought one size too small, so then I had to return it, get a bigger size. Then I had to get couplings. I had to get these guys. I had to get the connectors, as you can see there. And then I had to, so I get, anyways, 4 trips, I forgot. Okay, so now I plugged that. I think I did a pretty good job. Okay, and the pressure's back. The problem is, one of the zones up in front of the house no longer works. I don't know when that stopped working. I'm assuming it has to do with this. I looked, I picked up every bucket just to kind of check if there was an electrical line that was cut or anything. I don't know how these zones work. I don't know if there's some kind of actuator that's buried inside, connected to an electrical line, and that's how the zones get activated. So there's a zone in the front of the house that does not work, but there's other zones by the front of the house that do work. So there's just one zone that doesn't work. So I thought this was the end, that I fixed this. But I don't know if there's another pipe. I don't think there's another pipe. See, I don't know if any of you guys do have your own system, but you know, if you look in here, there's a little kind of like junction box. And that's what it looks like inside. So, you know, obviously there's actuators here, right? So I don't know if one of these, it doesn't look like any of these lines got cut or anything. I'll have to look again. Maybe he did cut one of these and that's why it doesn't work, but it looks like everything's connected. But there's one zone in the front that has no water at all, not even a little bit. I don't think the hose is cut. So that's what I've been dealing with this entire afternoon. And I know a lot of you guys may be thinking, this is not a lot of work, George, right? You shouldn't be complaining. A few hours out of your day, you know what? Just enjoy it. And I get it. I get it. For most part, you guys are right. But man, it's hot. It's hot and this is still not done, so I have to go investigate more. And overall, my frustration is I paid my grass cutters to do this, right? If this was beyond their capability, or they didn't want to do it, or they did make a mistake, they should let me know. I don't believe that they didn't see that pipe cut. I'm pretty sure they cut it and then they moved the hole, and then they just kind of ignored it, hoping that it didn't break anything. And of course, you cut that huge pipe like that, it's going to affect the system, right? So I told him, like, hey, you guys come back here and fix it, or I'm not paying you for this job. And then he's like, well, you know, I'm not a sprinkler guy. Go call your sprinkler system guy. And if the bill is, you know, more than $400 or $300, then, you know, then you don't have to pay for the job or something like that, right? So he feels bad about it, but still, you know, if he wasn't able to, or he didn't want to, he thought it was too hot, it wasn't worth it, whatever, just tell me. Don't try to do a half-assed job. And now I have to spend more time to do this, because if there was no rock and there was no tarp, I'm pretty sure, I mean, before I saw half the pipe and the electrical there, you know, and the heads. It would have been very easy to just kind of like mark them and then do things a lot easier. Now we have to go, I have to backtrack. So I'm probably still gonna have the sprinkler system people come out and try to solve why that one zone doesn't work. I'm pretty sure it's an electrical issue because it's like 0 water is going up there. So it has to be some kind of electrical issue. I'm gonna check that junction box. Maybe a line got cut or something. I don't know. If you guys have a system and you're more familiar with this, you let me know. Leave some comments. Let me know what to check for. But yeah, that's my experience, and I'm gonna clean up and go get some dinner. I am done. I am tired, in case you're not aware. All right, guys, that's it. Smash the like, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time as usual. All right? Have a good one. Take care. Bye-bye.